Hello my friends, David Kessler here and welcome back to the studio. I often get the question from new painters or beginning acrylic painters, what type of paint, acrylic paint, is going to be best for me? And it's a hard thing to answer because, there are different kinds of paint, and I'm going to specifically address the viscosity of paint today, the thickness or the thinness of the paint as opposed to name brands and that sort of thing, or comparing professional paint versus studio paint. We can do that in another video, but this is more about the type of paint, the type of viscosity or the thickness or the thinness of the paint, and that's really one of the major considerations when you're thinking about using acrylic paint. It's different from watercolor or oil because I think all oil paint has basically the same consistency, and watercolor, of course, has basically the same consistency, once you add a little water to it. So acrylic paint is a little bit different. So let's go through some different types of paint, and we'll see what can be used for what. Now, this is standard golden heavy body acrylic paint. Now, heavy body acrylic paint is what I prefer, because I like to get some thickness of paint in my painting. So see, this is the most viscous type paint. So when you turn it over, it's not going to come out of there. It's thick, right? That's why it's called heavy body. It's the most viscous of all the paint, or of the acrylic paint. Like I say, that's what I use. I've used other stuff over the years, but this is what I choose to use now because it spreads easily, it's wonderful, it mixes easily, it stays on the palette easily, on the brush easily, and it's you can create some nice thickness on the surface with the paint without having to add gel mediums or anything else to it. Now, the next kind of viscosity I know about and have used before is a pourable consistency. So we're talking about heavy body, pourable consistency, and then fluid acrylic, right? The thickest to the thinnest. Now, pourable, this is Novacolor. And Novacolor, if you don't know them, they're a California paint manufacturer. They don't sell through retail outlets. They only sell from their manufacturing facility in California. So it's a professional grade paint with professional grade pigment for a student price, because they don't have to pay that additional 50 to 75% to a retailer to sell their paint. So when I say pourable, I mean just that. I mean, you can just pour the paint out onto your palette. Now this is a Lucas Krill Studio. I think you can get this through Jerry's Artarama. And I think this is a great paint, particularly for, this is a student grade paint, but for people that are learning to paint with acrylic, I think these pourable types, and there again, this is pourable, squirtable. Okay. Well, I should have, kind of primed the tube a little bit on this one. My bad. So see, it's pourable. So these two have about the same consistency of paint. Now, they're not that different from the heavy body. The biggest difference is if you would like to get a thickness of paint. See, I paint all in one layer. I don't paint in multiple layers to get thickness. So if you want to use these and get thickness only in one layer, you're probably going to need to put some gel medium in it, some thick gel medium to make it thicker. Okay? That's kind of the only real downside to it. They mix easily on the palette. You can load your brush up with them really well, and they're really good pourable paints. And I really like this consistency, and I have used both of these types of paints before, both of these brands and this less viscous type of pourable paint. Now, the thinnest paint in acrylic paint is fluid paint, right? So I mean, it's just a liquid. It's just liquefied. It's the same pigment. For instance, these are both golden paints. They contain the same pigment, The only thing different is the binder, in that this is a fluid binder and that's a heavy, thick binder, right? That's the only difference. And you can take any of these and use them in any combination together. That's the other question I get. Well, can I use a heavy body and a fluid together? Well, of course you can do that. And the fluid paints are great if you're looking to do washes, or if you do multiple layers of color on your paintings. This stuff is fantastic because it's already thin and you don't have to add a whole lot of water to it to make a nice thin wash for a painting layer. It's just great stuff. Now, I choose not to use this very often. I do sometimes if I want to sling a little paint or something like that, but typically, you know, I like the heavy body as opposed to the fluid. But there's a lot of options for you in acrylic paint. That's one of the greatest things about it. It has so much flexibility and so many options in what you can use to make your paintings. So my advice, you know, is to experiment with it. If you like thicker paint, you know, maybe the heavy base works for you. If you like something that's more pourable and easy to manage, that you can add a thickener to, or you can add a medium to it to thin it so that it's more like a fluid paint, then maybe, you know, a middle of the road pourable consistency would work better for you. On the other hand, if you like doing multiple thin layers of acrylic paint, then maybe the fluid paint is going to be your best option. My advice is to experiment with them if you've not done so before, and just see what works best for you. That will be the best paint. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what type of viscosity of acrylic paint that you like best and what you use. And I hope this was helpful for you, and we'll see you on the next video.